My name is James Browne and I'm the set and costume designer for Yong.
With Yong, you're designing multiple aspects of the production, including the costume and the sets. This is for a broader education question, can you tell us a little bit about your role as designer, like when you come in, how you work within the team?
So the way that my role works within the team of any production is that I'll read the script first of all, then meet with the director and we'll discuss the overall concept and ideas of what the visual language of the piece is going to be. And then from there, my job is to work in costume design, set design, prop design, basically any three-dimensional objects that exist within the space, their function and how they aesthetically will drive the story and the narrative being told.
And when you read the script and you spoke with Darren, what was your initial response to Yong? Were there any challenges that you initially thought of, or what was your immediate response with your designer sort of filter on?
I think when first reading the script and discussing the production with Darren, immediately I was extremely excited because to design any piece that is culturally referencing and also set within a period that speaks an Australian story is always very unique, very exciting starting point. Obviously, there were huge challenges within the design process because we have one cast member to play multiple roles. We have a set design that has to tour to many different venues. We also had, there's logistic issues that have to be looked at, but essentially the challenges that we face, we kind of, as a group creatively can, with the actor, with direction, and design, kind of find solutions to ways to tell the story. So for example, some of the concepts and ideas within the script writing are really big and epic and very almost film-like. So our goal was to reimagine all those ideas in a much more theatrical methods of storytelling.
Beautiful. And so what has inspired you? So when you read the script, what was the inspiration when you were designing the sets and the costumes and props for Yong? What did you turn to? What reference material? Where did you go?
In terms of inspiration for Yong, I think for any designer who is doing a piece set in history at a particular place, a lot of research goes into the time period, and that's looking at books and references, and then sort of pulling from those images key components that can kind of trigger off an aesthetic that will work cohesively for the piece. So a lot of our inspiration came from old photographs of the time, from the gold rush, from Ballarat, from Chinese communities, and doing a lot of research into obviously the time period. And what we really wanted was to create this hybrid of a Chinese/colonial world, and I think we've been quite successful in doing that.
Beautiful. And then how has being in Ballarat and staying here for the Creative Development Week, how has that influenced your process, or has any changes been made? Has it impacted you in any way? How have you felt about being here with the creative team?
I think spending the week in development here in Ballarat has actually solidified a lot of the creative choices that have been made along the way. You only have to walk down the streets of Ballarat to kind of see items and architecture that have been referenced within the design. And also you get a real sense of the feeling of community here and the sense of history as well. So I think for all of us working as a creative team on this development, being in the place in which it was set certainly has a lot of resonance and influences on the choices that we make.
Beautiful. And I have one last question, and it's about, you've worked with Monkey Baa before, and working on a production for young people, does it change your process in any way, or how do you come to a piece for young people? Is there anything different in how you work, or?
I think for me, the difference between designing a production for younger audiences is to keep the momentum of visual stimulation. So within the storytelling, to maintain a kind of an energy within the design elements so that the younger audience are engaged within the story and that they get excited. And there's nothing more enjoyable than knowing that the audiences have been inspired and they're really engaged within the piece and that their attention is kept throughout the whole complexity of the story.